everyone, I'm Lori with Behavior Education at Spirit Keeper Animal Sanctuary. Welcome to Super Dwarf Sunday for October 2nd, 2022. I can't believe it's October already. This week, I'm going to go over with you how I go about cleaning Ryder's tree. Some of you might remember that he is living in a tree that's meant for cats, but he absolutely loves it, and I have a net or a mesh enclosure around it that's actually meant to go around trees and plants and bushes outside to keep insects off of them. You might be wondering how I keep that clean, and I'm going to show you this week. Right after that, we're going to take a look at a very shiny TC. In a recent episode of Super Dwarf Sunday, Ryder was so gracious to allow me to use him to demonstrate how I deal with dysecdysis that is bad enough that it requires my assistance to get the stuck shed off. I mentioned during that episode that my veterinarian had said that we could use glycerin on the snakes who had stuck shed. Well, I have since gone back to the veterinarian for some wellness exams on snakes, and I discussed that with her in a little bit more detail. And she said it's just regular glycerin that you can buy at any pharmacy or you can get online, and you just rub it all over the snake, and it's safe to put everywhere on their body. It's safe to put on stuck eye caps. She said she puts it on stuck eye caps, and she will repeat that for several days in a row. She'll just let it soak in. And usually what will happen is that stuck shed and the eye caps will come off by themselves. But if not, and we have to help, it's a lot easier to get that stuck shed off once the glycerin has been applied several times and had a chance to soak in. So I ordered some, and TC is not experiencing dysecdysis, but he is a really good sport about me handling him and trying things on him. If you remember a couple of years ago, we trained him to accept a voluntary injection and we microchipped him on camera. So this isn't quite that bad. I just rubbed glycerin all over my hands, and it's quite viscous when it comes out of the bottle. It seems really thick, but once you start putting it on your hands or on the snake, it almost turns watery. It gets much more liquidy, and I just rubbed it all over him, and I probably used too much because by the time it had spent a few seconds on my hand and on him, it was dripping all over the floor. So I would say use it sparingly. You can always apply more, but he ended up with quite a bit of glycerin on him, and he's very shiny. So I have a little bit of footage of that. Some of you may find this of interest. Ryder, our youngest reticulated python, super dwarf reticulated python, there he is in his tree, spent a month in this tree with no containment around it. And then the first day he left the tree, I put a tent around it that's made for outdoor plants to keep bugs off of them. You might be wondering, well, don't you clean the tree? How do you change the water? How do you clean the tree up? And this tent thing, this mesh, it just folds up, and it's meant to fold up for storage. And so it's just easy to unzip and fold down. And that's what I've done now. So I've unzipped it and I've just pulled it off from around the tree. The base of the tree is still on it. I don't need to take the tree out of the mesh. I just bent the mesh down, and I'm going to clean all the levels of his tree and rearrange this log that he's practically pushed off, and make sure he has fresh water and refresh his humid hide. And then I will just fold this back up over his tree and zip it back up so that we don't have Ryder loose in the house. What do you think? And I think he probably wants to eat too. This is a second one of those nets, so if you don't believe me that it folds up, this is how it comes. It actually folds down somehow into this circle. Now, honestly, the first time I put the tent up, when I went to take it back down, I couldn't figure out how to get back into this configuration. So I just mashed it down and stored it. But now it's permanently around his tree, and I don't need to mash it down other than when I clean it. But this is literally that same tent and how it arrives when you order it. So it's meant to be foldable and mashable. This is a good opportunity for me to demonstrate how I use an intermediate object to move a snake. Ryder was on his log and I'm cleaning his tree and I needed him moved off this top level. This is the level he spends the most time on and it needs to be cleaned, but I didn't want to disturb him, and he doesn't usually come down on his own necessarily. He's pretty happy in this tree. And so this is an example of how, without disturbing him, I can take him off that level. He's already on his own log, and I'm not disturbing him by touching him or being intrusive. I'm going to set him on a different level. I'm going to clean the top level, and then if he's still on this log, I will just use that same log to put him back up there. Yep. So that was really quick and easy to clean. And Ryder's still on his log, and so I'm just going to put him back exactly where I found him, up on his top level in his forest. Oh, and now he's decided to come down. Hi, Ryder. What are you doing? Did I disturb you? I tried not to disturb you, but I disturbed you anyway, huh? Super dwarf reticulated pythons are relatively friendly and curious about what people are doing. And now he's probably fully awake because I moved him and disturbed him, and he's now crawled down to check out this brand new water. So he has a rock and a water on this level, and then he's got, this is a good opportunity for me to give you a tree tour. He has a little half log cave on this level, and this is the level his humid hide goes on. And then down here he has a bigger water container and then an open space here where he can stretch out. So I've just cleaned everything and refreshed the water, and I'm going to refresh his humid hide. And so he probably likely will be curious about what's going on and explore all the new clean stuff. He's right here. It looks like this needs to be cleaned. It's got urates in it. So we have clean water down here, some open space for him to stretch out. Moving around, he's got some trees here. He has his old tank here, which still has stuff in it for him to use. He doesn't get in that very often, but sometimes he still goes in there. The second level has his humid hide, which I just refreshed with damp sphagnum moss, plus this log. And then the next level up, which is where he's actually at right now. Hi, Ryder. What are you doing? Hi. You are so beautiful. So beautiful. He's got a rock over there. He's got drinking water here. And then his top level, he's got a rock and a log. And this is where he spends the majority of his time. I know, I totally disturbed you. You're fine. And you got fresh water on 2 levels. Everything's clean now, and I'm going to leave you alone. Maybe I'll feed you later. Would you like that? You would? Okay.
Yep.
Now I'm going to just put his tent back around the tree by folding it up. Ryder's right here next to his little drinking water. Show from the other side too. Oh, I forgot to put his toilet tissue rolls up in there. And it's as easy as that. All zipped up. Now, this dirt here is not from Ryder. I think this is from the flies, and I'm wondering if I am going to be able to put this in the washing machine or not. I'll have to investigate that. But there we go, all done. Everyone, thank you so much for watching, and please remember that the first Sunday of each month is Super Dwarf Sunday, where you never know what you might see, but I guarantee it will include one or both of our Super Dwarf reticulated pythons, TC and Ryder from Reach Out Reptiles. Until next time, everybody, please remember to always be kind and love your animals.